Hi everyone, what's going on? I hope you're having a great day. This is Ian from Contemporary Athlete, and in this video, just wanted to cover two main movement patterns, what each one is, what the differences are between them, and why they're both important, and how they can help you. So those two patterns are a hinge and a squat. So we'll start with a hinge. So when you see a lot of videos online, you'll see a lot of things that look like hinges, but they're actually more like squats. So a hinge, a hip hinge, is a hip dominant exercise. It's working our glutes, our hamstrings, everything you can't see standing looking at the mirror. So what this means, let's say for example we're going to start off just doing a good kettlebell deadlift, because a deadlift is a hinge type exercise. You'll stand tall. There's relatively minimal knee motion. There's a whole lot more range of motion coming from the hip. So imagine that you are standing nice and tall. You're trying to touch the wall behind you with your butt. So find our bell, a little bit of motion at the knee, but the hips will slide back. In this case, I'm going to find my bell. So starting position, shoulders are higher than my hips. My hips are higher than my knees. You have a good neutral spine. In this case, I'm reaching for a bell. My arms are long. I'm going to push through the floor, stand tall, reset, slide back, hinge back, push, stand tall to a plank. So here we're working a whole lot of hamstring, a whole lot of glute. Our lower back is engaging to stabilize. That is a hinge. It's more of a posterior chain exercise with a whole lot of motion, or a whole lot more motion, relatively speaking, at the hip, and a whole lot less at the knee. So let's contrast that with a squat. There, you'll have more of a balanced distribution from posterior to anterior chain. And the biggest difference is a hinge, hip dominant, a knee has a lot more range of motion, a lot more involvement at the knee joint. So what this looks like, go back to a hinge again, flat back, hips back, slide back, shoulders higher than hips, hips higher than knees. A squat will be the opposite, or not the opposite, but more range of motion from the knee. So from here, tall, hips back, there's a lot more up and down motion, a lot more vertical motion in the squat. Up and down, using more quad. Squat, hinge. Hinge, more forward and back, more posterior chain. Squat, more up and down, still using plenty of glute, but tends to work more of our quads. So some examples of common squat and hinge exercises. For a hinge, sort of a progression to think about is you start on the ground, on your back, good glute bridge. You can just start here. That's a hinge. Not too much going on at the knee. A lot more going on at the hip and the glutes. So bridge, pull-throughs, cable pull-throughs, banded pull-throughs, depends on what kind of equipment you have. Then you can work into things like deadlifts, kettlebell deadlifts, barbell deadlifts. Kettlebell swings are also a great hinge-based exercise. And squats, you know, the classic, start with a body weight squat. No weight, get yourself set up. Obviously it depends on your strength, your mobility, any orthopedic considerations you have going on. Good body weight squats, working our way up. Maybe you get to some goblet squats. Staying tall. Ultimately, down the road, if it's what you want and what you need, you get a barbell. So, in a nutshell, that's a hinge and a squat. Hinge, hip dominant, engaging more glute, more posterior chain. Squat, it's a whole lot more knee involvement, more knee dominant, you'll get more quad, more vertical motion up and down, as opposed to hinge motion forward and back. So I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you're including both of those in a good balanced training program. Lots of different ways to work them in, depends on what you need. And if you have any more questions, feel free to give us a call, send us a message, or stop on into the gym sometime. All right, thank you for watching, And have a great day and happy training.